Hello, teachers. My name is Sharon Work, and I will be presenting an introduction to Readworks, a reading program that can be integrated into any grade level or content area. Readworks provides thousands of free reading materials and related questions for classroom use. The relative advantage of Readworks will be presented, as well as an overview of the Readworks program, and examples of how Readworks can be used for classroom instruction will be shown. We'll take a look at the Readworks website itself so you can preview some of the content it can provide for your curriculum and/or content area and explore the site further once the presentation is complete. The relative advantage aspect of Readworks includes the educational benefits of using shorter texts to teach key literary skills to young learners. It is easier to introduce content knowledge and a wider range of authors, topics, and styles in shorter texts, as well as draw comparisons between the texts. Shorter, more directed text gives them the opportunity to use their current reading skills and be introduced to newer skills without getting lost in a lengthy text. Teaching about metaphors and similes, for example, works better when learners have brief texts in which to find them rather than tracking them down in a longer piece. Readworks also offers accessibility options such as audio read mode for struggling readers, visually impaired students, and students on the autism spectrum. Text magnification is available for students with visual impairments or dyslexia, and a split screen option is available for viewing texts and questions at the same time for assistance with attention and inhibition. Writing support is available for helping struggling writers by offering writing starts to get them going, and passages are available in auditory and written format in 7 languages to assist the English language learners or those who would like to use Readworks in other countries. Since students learn at different levels and paces, Readworks gives students the option to work at their ability level with article a day. Students can choose from texts available each day at their level, and they can work on the skills they need for individual growth. Since there are thousands of texts available for K-12 learners, there is a wide variety of content and concepts for them to read about. This is a terrific opportunity for learners to get a sneak peek at new topics and areas of interest, instead of having to immerse themselves in a full-length book or text on something, only to lose interest shortly after starting or right in the middle. This way, students are introduced to a new topic in a fun and interesting way and can decide for themselves if it is something worth pursuing greater knowledge on. Readworks offers interactive reading experiences to each learner. Each text offers written text, an audio reading, and accompanying images for the student to learn from, as well as multiple choice and short answer questions. The students can highlight and annotate their texts. They can reread or listen as often as they need, and they can pause for thought, note-taking, and reflection to assist their learning. To get started with Readworks in your classroom, you'll first need to create a digital classroom. You can do this by manually entering your student roster, utilizing Google Sign-In, or uploading your student roster from Google Classroom. Next, you'll use the filters for assigning text for your students, then customize by adding audio, accompanying question sets, vocabulary supports, or step reads. Once students complete their questions digitally, you can view live results and grade the written answer questions with no, partial, or whole credit grading options. You can print or export the progress reports and grades and enter them into your gradebook or send them home for parent progress. To get the students started in Readworks, there are 3 different sets of tasks based on your digital classroom login format, whether you manually enter your roster, if you have them use Google Sign-In, or if you use Google Classroom. Each is easy to navigate and can be done in classroom or out. Once your digital class is set and all students can successfully log in, you can choose what manner you'd like to integrate Readworks into your classroom. Do you plan to use article a day layout? Do you want to pick and choose your own Readworks digital texts and preset them for individual use for your students? Do you plan to use them for small group instruction or use texts for whole group instruction first on a projector or smartboard? Whatever format you choose, there is support available for you, as you'll see later in the presentation. Readworks can be used as an entry task for a language arts lesson or as an exit ticket after the lesson is complete. It can also be integrated in as a small group activity during a reader's or writer's workshop covering a specific reading concept or writing technique. Because of the diversity of text and content that is introduced in each text, it can be used in subject areas such as social studies, history, or science. Readworks can also be used for independent work once a concept has been introduced and reviewed as reinforcement for a skill. Here are some of the references used for material in this presentation. Now let's take a look at the Readworks site for ourselves. There are two areas of the Readworks site I'd like to call your attention to. First is the teacher guide section. There are tons of resources and support through step-by-step PDFs and webinar walkthroughs to take the guesswork and fear out of the program. In this section, there's a 45-minute introductory webinar that's provided for teachers to get started and comfortable with using Readworks. Next, I'm going to take you to my personal Readworks page, where you can see how a teacher can find material for use in their classroom. We'll use the filters at left and search for a paired text. I'd like to have question sets available for them and human voice audio. Let's set the grade level to a second grade classroom. As you can see, there are 19 items available with these current filters in place. I'd like to look more closely at a paired set using Mrs. Whisker's Whiskers and an adventure in Africa. This section tells us that they were paired together because they're fictional works in where a child learns about an animal. The content area, literary information, and standards are provided to the right, as well as other related works. In this case, it's another paired text at a third grade level, offering progression for content and development of skills. This is all we have time for today. There are resources and links available to the left of this presentation on my teacher website for more information. This is Sharon Work, and I thank you for joining me for this web-based instruction presentation on Readworks. Bye for now.